Welcome, everyone, to the Asian Voices Radio Podcast, where you'll find real Asian American conversations about all things, including the topics you were too afraid to ask your Asian parents. I'm your host, Hula Ramos, and joining me today is my co host, comedian Linda Schwartz. How are you doing today, Linda?
What up, Hula? I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. It's been a long time since I've seen you, or I don't think we've actually physically met. I think it's about time we need to physically meet each other.
Let's go do something.
I'm in. I'm in now that
Okay,
this whole,
karaoke?
yeah, yes, because I for sure can sing. You can sing, girl.
I try.
No, you don't need to try because you can sing wonders. I'm just saying.
I, you just heard that little bit. You haven't heard me sing anything else but that little bit. So you might change your mind after.
If you guys are all laughing at this conversation right now, you're gonna laugh through this whole podcast because Linda, we have a really special guest who's right up your alley, and we're
We
going to be
do.
bringing the funny today with Kiki Young. She's a comedian, producer, actress, writer, director, and host. Her passion to create opportunities for Asian American comedians led her to create Crazy Woke Asians, the always sold out comedy show featuring the funniest Asian American comedians in Southern California. Please welcome Kiki Young. How are you doing, Kiki?
Hi, Hula. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No, it's funny because way back in the day, you interviewed me for Asian Voices television show. You were the one that
Yes.
was grilling me, so now it's reversed. Now I get to grill you, right?
Yes. So
The
excited.
tables are turned.
The tables are turning right now. No, I'm just kidding. Let's start from the beginning real quick, Kiki. Let's talk about early on in life. Let's talk about your life in the beginning. Start from the beginning.
I'll start from the well. I was born in Hong Kong. Um, yeah, from Hong Kong, and then I went to an all girls Catholic school. It was a convent school. It was great, and then the teachers get mad very easily. I remember one time they would throw like a Bible across the room at everybody, and we all wore like uniforms. And my mom would pick me up really late, like every day. Like after everyone leaves, I'm like inside the nuns' convent. They're cooking, and then I'm just sitting there looking at the cobblestone with the light bulb, and it's dark. And we get out of school at like 2, and then my mom would show up at like 6 or 7. And then they'll give me like a banana because they feel bad for me. I always remember that. She came up and gave me a banana one time. I was like, thanks, this sucks. But like feed me some real food. What kind of nuns are they? Um but maybe they were just eating like chicken canned noodles, so I don't know. But yeah, and then it was 1997 was coming up, the China takeover, so our whole family immigrated to Seattle, but not to Seattle, but to like the boonies, like a little town called Bothell outside of Seattle. And that's when my whole family just like went boom, explosion. I got sick. I got sick. My mom got sick. My dad got sick. Everyone got sick. Yeah. So,
Like sick, like
um,
what?
uh, like they both had cancer, and I had an autoimmune disease, and my blood started dropping, and I had 9 packs of
Mm.
blood transfusion, and yeah, it was like out of nowhere. And my mom thought, oh, because you went to the Splash Mountain in Disneyland and you got scared and your spirit jumped out of your body. That's why your blood started dropping and your body started attacking itself. Like my face turned into orange, like a carrot, like really. Like it was like
Oh
orange. They
my God.
they thought I had ulcer or blood cancer, so I remember them wheeling me into the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center or whatever in Seattle with like oxygen. So normal women, they should have like a 36 blood count. I had
Hmm.
like a 11, 11 blood count. Yeah, when I went in, so they thought I was dying. That was not fun. And then my dad had cancer, nasal cancer. He didn't smoke or drink, but I don't know. Maybe it's the
That's such a weird cancer.
yeah,
Nasal cancer.
but it's very common in Hong Kong. I
Is
think
it?
maybe
From
the
the pollution?
fumes. Yeah, and he was supposed to go blind and deaf, but he just got a little bit more nearsighted and kind of little bit deaf in one ear. So he talks really loud and plays really loud music at the house. But and then my mom got sick, so I got better, and then my mom had breast cancer, and then she was like, "Peace out," and then she moved away. I drove her from Seattle to San Diego, and that's how I kind of ended up in San Diego in a way. Well, I also ran away from home when I was 19, so I don't know, maybe that doesn't count. I was 19, but in Hong Kong that's a big deal because you don't leave till you get married, you know. But
Hmm.
I ran away from home to San Diego because my brother ran away from home. That's how much we hated Seattle. Like everybody ran away to San Diego where their son. And then I ended up in San Diego. My mom was getting treatment in San Diego, at this place called Optimum Health Institute, like where they get like coffee. I don't know, colonics. They
Is
do
that
call.
place in Lemon Grove?
Yes, have you been there,
Yes,
Linda?
I had a friend who was there. Yeah, so
Oh,
I
did
went
it?
there to visit her.
Oh, did it work out for her?
It worked out great for her.
Oh, good. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they cure cancer, and she made me go there too. Because she was like, "You took steroids, so you need to detox." So I detoxed. I did the watermelon fast, and then it was like the wheatgrass, and everything was raw, and did colonics, and then yeah, and then I feel like I'm just talking.
No, I mean, it's fascinating because the fact that you've gone through, I mean, people looking or listening to this story, it's like, oh my gosh, you've gone through all this sickness, but through the underlying of you telling the story, you're kind of laughing and you're bringing in this humor. Why is that? Is that something early on you used to do to kind of mask what you've been going through? Like, let's take a deep dive.
Yeah, I want to know how you found comedy as your outlet.
Well, so when I was back, so when all that was going on, I was a really happy kid when I was younger, and then I moved to Bothell, and then I became really introverted because people made fun of me the way I spoke English with the British Chinese accent. So I became really quiet, and I didn't talk much. I was actually really fell into deep depression, and then after I got sick, I couldn't really do much. I was really tired all the time. I stopped playing piano, stopped painting. Like I was just always fatigued because I also had a hypo hypothyroidism. So it was like
Wow.
no blood, and then my goiter and my neck looked like an Adam's apple. So I was just like really depressed. There's all these hives all over me all the time, swollen face. I couldn't go to school, and then so I started doing theater because I always liked to act, and then I did some sketch comedy. But I think I always had timing because I played piano and sang. So I think people that are musically inclined, they have a good rhythm, like with comedy. So I started doing sketch, and then I didn't really start doing comedy like as a stand up till after I gave birth to my son because I needed another challenge. So before that, I did all the one woman show stuff. That I did a show called Second Chances. I played like 20 different characters, and pretty much my coming of age, my immigrant self healing story. But that one, I mean, there is like a roller coaster ride. There's happy moments and sad moments. But I wasn't masking it much at all. I was like really introverted, and then acting was like my outlet. But after I moved to LA, that's when I started doing stand up, and then I was like, well, what do I want to talk about? Of course, all the horrible, terrifying trauma that I had growing up, with my family being sick and everything. And then I just learned to make fun of it, like all the crazy stuff that my mom says to me. I'm sure, I don't know, Linda, or who, like your parents. I mean, we're Asians, so my mom and my dad both said a lot of really, really harsh things to me, even about
Mhm.
me being an actor or trying to go back to Hong Kong, or my dad has passed now, but I mean, if he found out that I was doing stand up, he's gonna be like, why don't you just sit down? Nothing you say is funny, girl. Just shut up. Like you're old. What are you gonna do with that? you know. But with stand up, you just have to really be you. You can't act. You can't pretend. It's not even like sketch or improv or TikTok or Instagram sketch, like you really just, you're there, you have to be honest and truthful. So the more honest I am about where I come from, and I like to talk about my life, like for my stand up. So I just learned to really find the punchlines, make fun of it, you know, and it kind of, it's therapeutic in a way, and people like laughing at your pain.
It's true. It's so true. But speaking of honesty, I have to come clean about something, and I owe you an apology, Kiki, because um I think it was last year, or it was definitely during the pandemic. You reached out and asked if I wanted to do one of your shows, and I said yes, and then I fell off the radar. And I just want to apologize for that, because I was just going through some things with my son.
Oh, no worries. I don't even remember what show was that.
Girl, I don't even know either. I don't remember either. But all I remember was feeling terrible about it, because the show came and went, and like I was just in such a deep thing with my kid. So I ended up, he broke out into a rash, and it ended up being that I gave him a a yeast infection.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
And yeah, a yeast infection, eczema, and food allergies.
oh, that
So
sucks.
I mean, his face was just looking like he was beat up all the time, and it was just
Oh,
terrible, terrible, terrible timing. But at any
how old?
rate,
How old is your son? Or
he will be 2, but
oh,
about that time he was probably he was like 6, 9, 10. I don't know how many months he was, but it was like right during the pandemic and when it started. So under a year for sure.
oh,
Um
yeah. My son would get all that stuff very easily too. Like I nursed him for almost 2 years, so
yeah, me too.
I totally see how. Yeah, it's tough. Like yeah, he had one or two shots, and then his whole face got swollen, limbs. We had to go to the ER. It's just crazy when the baby is so small.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So
okay,
I just
Linda,
wanted
because
to clear the air about that, because I was feeling real bad about it.
Oh
So
no,
it's
no
okay,
worries.
Linda, because I covered for you, because also Kiki asked me to be on her show, and then I did one show during the pandemic. I sung horribly, and she never invited me back. So we're good. We're good.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Oh
so it's
my
all
god,
good.
you're
No, you know
funny.
You're
what?
the bomb.com. Thank you so
Yeah, I
much.
Hey,
got you. I got you.
we're doing a crazy vocation show at the Laugh Factory on August 18th. You guys can, you do a spot and hula. You can sing a song again.
No, you do
It'll be
not. You don't
great.
remember the last time. It was
It will be funny.
horrendous. No, but here's the thing, Kiki, and I really admire you and your story right now, because me, as you mentioned, as you're Asians, your parents look at you and you have to follow that quote unquote model minority. You have to be, doing something like an engineer, a doctor, a nurse, instead of doing something creative, and you did it anyways. And the fact
Hmm.
is that it just inspires. I know somebody listening right now is probably inspired by you, because you stuck to your guns and you're like, no, I'm gonna do this comedy thing. I mean, I've seen some of your shows, and oh my gosh, you are hilarious. So I
Oh,
appreciate you for
thanks.
that, because even when I did radio, I would talk about my Filipino side, and I would talk with a Filipino accent and be like, oh, I like my rice and my, on, just try to be funny. And that was somewhat contained because of radio, but as a comedian, it's, you have to be even more out there and more, just honest with people. So I appreciate and admire you.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's been hard, like, because like it's trial and error. I mean, Linda, you do stand up, you sometimes you say the most personal things, but you also have to be comfortable saying it. Like now, I'm talking about my black husband, my black ex-gay husband, and that took me a long time to talk about it. I don't even think I processed it completely, like, but now
Wait,
I talk about.
Wait,
wait, what?
is this a true story?
Yeah, so I was married for 2.5 years, and for like 5 years we were together. So after college, that's when I met him, and then we lived in Hong Kong, and I was working there for a while, and then we came back, and then was like, we're gonna just break up or we're gonna get married, because it's been 5 years, and then we were like,
Hmm.
okay, get married. And then and then there was just signs, and then when we finally got divorced, separated, everybody's like, yeah, we knew he was gay, but I mean, he didn't come out yet. So, but I there's so many facts, like he collected Barbies, he designed
Oh, wait
women's,
hold on.
right?
Wait a minute. No, 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 no. Kiki, no, 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 no. So you knew this during the 5 years that you guys were dating, and it never occurred to you that he could be gay.
I don't think he broke them out till the Barbies in the top corner of his closet until like, I think after we were married, or like right before we were I mean, I was living with him with his family for like a few years before that, and he said it like this, like, oh, these worth a lot of money, it's collector's item. So I never thought about it, but then like now, and then he used to go to all these coffee dates with his guy friends, and like I don't know any guy that just goes on coffee dates to chat and talk. That's why he was such a good listener. He never tried to have sex with me.
Then he's definitely gay.
He never tried to have sex with me. And I was going through that phase where I was like, I don't want people try. Anyone that I'm dating, I was like becoming a born again virgin. Like I was getting deep into my Bible. We were like, both getting really spiritual, and I was like, okay, let's just stop. And then it was like even worse after we got married. And then I look back, I was like, yeah, every time we went to Broadway where all the gay people are, they all knew him, said hi to him. But I just thought, well, he told me he used to hang out at the gay clubs, and he would get all his friends in because the older gay guys would like buy him drinks. And then I didn't think about, I just thought, oh, okay.
He's just very friendly. He was just very gay friendly.
Because he was jealous when the guy I was dating before, he like hated him. And I just thought, but then that guy thought he was gay too. So that guy was like, yeah, go hang out with him. So now it's like 5 years after, it's all clear to me now. And then, he would call me Frank. So
what?
Like, he called me Frank, but that's because our favorite movie was Scarface. So I thought, but then he just messaged me a month ago and called me Frank. Hey, Frank, my brother is getting married. And I was like, hey, when are you going to come out? But I didn't want to say nothing. But I mean, he'll never, his mom is a devout Catholic too. I think maybe it's,
yeah.
And
he's definitely, he's waiting for his mom to die to come out. That's
and because I mean, I wanted to confront, I think I confronted, he's like, no, but then I asked my other gay friend and he was like, yeah, don't confront him like that, but then I'm like, well, I'm confronting him by telling it all during my set, to the whole world. So I'm sure someday he can hear it. And I mean, he's still alone. He's not remarried or anything, so I mean that's kind of weird. And he is a great listener. I mean, gosh, we were really emotionally connected, like but that's about it. Like he would listen to all my feelings and my thoughts. It's very different from other guys. That was very refreshing. Like my husband now, it's hard to have him listen. He'll start yawning. Like I don't know, maybe Hula, you're a good listener.
I'm sorry, I'm too busy yawning right now. I didn't understand what you're saying.
See,
No, I'm just kidding.
exactly.
I'm just playing. Well, so then what, doing all this comedy and talking about your life, what led you to start Crazy Woke Asians?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
There it is. Boom.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of theater, and like I was doing some industrial stuff in San Diego, and with Asian Voices, I was a segment co-host, and that was fun. But then I kept driving to LA every week for auditions, and it just got so tiring. And then eventually I'm like, I need to move up there or here, and or else it's like I just keep doing this and I don't feel like I'm taking my career to another level. So I started after I gave birth to my son, I was like, yeah, I'm bored, I need to do something for me. So I took this class. I remember I had to drive like 2 hours in traffic just to get there. It was so far. And then I did the showcase, and then after that I liked it. I felt like, oh, this is easier than doing a one woman show, because I don't need set or anything. I just need a microphone. So I was like, okay, I'll go to open mics, and I just kept going. And then I met a few other Asians, and then I was always the only Asian on the shows, you know or like there's one other Asian girl, but most of the time it's just I'm the only Asian. And I was like, why is there must be more Asians. Like in San Diego, I didn't find enough Asian actors either, you know? Like
What?
I was like, where are the Asians? Like where are they? I did the San Diego Fringe Festival that year. My show was the only Asian show, I think. Yeah, I was like, where are the Asians? Come on. So in LA, I started meeting them, and I was like, they're like why. And then those comedians are like, yeah, sometimes the bookers, they think that we all say the same stuff, so they don't want to book multiple Asians, you know, because we all look alike, right? So
Mhm.
I was like, well, I'm gonna change that. So you know, I have all this theater experience that I used to produce shows in Seattle too. And so I was like, this is a no-brainer. I just booked the people that I like and they're funny. Then there's no rehearsals. I just need a space. So we got a space in Koreatown, and then it sold out. And then I was like, oh, that's nice. And then I moved it to a bigger venue, sold out again, and then got into the Comedy Store, sold out every time. And then I was like, okay, maybe this is meant to be, you know, because I was doing theater for a while in San Diego. I was trying to, you know, do theater, and I was like, now I kind of wish I started earlier. But you know what? That's the journey, right? Because
Mhm.
people are like, how do you produce the stuff so well? Like, and I'm like, because I failed for a long time. Like, you know, it took me, I was producing for what, 10, 15 years before I, you know, and that's hardcore when you do theater. You know, you have director, you have stage manager, you have crew, you have a whole month schedule. You know, doing comedy shows is easy. You just have to, it really is. There's no
Yeah.
rehearsal. You
Yeah.
just get us, and people are good, or they, you know, I just, when I used to host, I keep the energy up. It's hard to find a good host, you know, like sometimes, yeah. And I try not to host my shows anymore, so I can focus on doing my set.
Hmm.
And because I, you know, I have to split brain, you know. So but it's hard to find a good host that can like sustain the whole show and keep it up, you know, to keep the audience energy up. So that's the challenge. But yeah, and then now here we are.
Here we are. So, you know, you were talking about like all the pain and things that you came up with, and then you turned to comedy. How, for me, so I have a lot of that shit too. So um and I'm in the process of, you know, like I've processed a lot of that, and I can actually talk a lot about it on stage. But my curiosity is this, is that I wonder, can you talk a little bit about your own process? Like, how do you write it out first? Do you just
Yeah.
talk? What's your comedy
Well,
process?
I usually just talk, and then something's funny, and while I'm talking to my husband, or I'm just talking his ears off, and I'll be like, "Oh, that is funny," and then he'll be like, "Oh, that's not funny." I'm like, "No, you're a joke killer," and then I'll be like, "I'm just starting," and then and then I'll type it out. I'll type it out, and then I don't try to do verbatim anymore, because you know, when I first started, I was like, this is a monologue, let me do this theater thing, and it was just too much. Like
Hmm.
I got too much in my head, and I was too worried about how it come out. So now I have like bullet points, things that I want to say, and then my mind just automatically kind of goes to the punch, because the more you write, the more you do it, you get up,
Hmm.
then your mind just, and it's clearer the way I write. It's helped me a lot as a writer. Like I think clearer, I have to write clearer, and it's just minimize the words you need, you know. And
Hmm.
I think the more you go up, the more you play. Sometimes, like I've been doing, I think 5 years now, and then so when I go up, before I have a certain order of my set. But lately I just like, okay, whatever. I kind of watch the room, and I see what's working. Like if someone brings up like dating or marriage or like a black guy, then I'll be like, oh, maybe I should just go with my black gay husband joke right away, and then I'll go back, and then I'll go back to my son joke, and then it kind of just works even better sometimes. So I'm not like stuck with like, oh, this is my set, because then it's boring for me if I go up like every night. Then
Hmm.
people can feel, because you get stale. So,
Hmm.
and it actually kind of, once you do it long enough, I feel like you kind of know how to do a callback too, you know, where you bring a
Yeah.
subject, and then at the end you bring the subject back. And yeah, I'm just trying to have more fun with it. And then I have so many notes on my iPhone, like everywhere I go, like especially in the bathroom when I'm showering. that's my only mommy me time. And my son,
Oh, girl, talk about that.
exactly, try to bang on the door.
How old is your son now?
He's 5. He's almost 6, but he's on me like white on rice. Like
Yeah,
he's
it doesn't sound like it gets any better because my
no,
son is
no,
like from the moment he wakes up to the moment he falls asleep, it's mommy, 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 mommy,
exactly.
mommy. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't
get
sound like
better
it gets
because
better.
my girls are 8 and 6, and they're constantly like, "Mommy, mommy," and I'm like, "Yes, bye,
oh,
see you later." Yeah, so no, it won't go away. Sorry, ladies.
oh,
Dads
I'm
always
just
have it easier.
right. I'm just like, shut up, stop saying my name. Like, what is it? What do you want from me? Like, it's just. But they're gonna be gone by the time. I feel like my son's such an extrovert. He'll be like, "Bye, mom." Like 13, he'll be like, "I'm busy. I got my own life." you know. So he still sleeps with me, and then I move him to his own bed, like when he falls asleep. So it's a whole process to just sleep every night. Like I have to put him to sleep together, and then when he really is a little bit snoring, then I put him in his own bed. I have to move him.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't have that problem. My kid is in his bed and he'll fall asleep and he'll sleep from like 6 to 6. So we're
Wow, good for
really
you.
lucky in that department. But
Oh, good for you.
oh yeah, but I'm still tired, girl, because I wake up every morning and I'm just like, I can't, I got to do this again.
Yeah,
I
right.
gotta
There's
do
no
this
vacation.
again.
Can we just take some time off? That's why when we're on stage, I'm always like, this is my mommy me time, okay? 5 minutes,
Yes,
10 minutes,
yes, yes.
just something for yourself. And it makes me a nicer person most of the time.
Most of the time.
Not
I'm
really, but
still I'm still hangry and angry at the world because I still have like I just had dinner and I didn't have breakfast or lunch
oh,
because
yeah.
I was like in the I that's all I've been doing is feeding him all day long.
Oh yeah, I didn't eat. I got a couple eggs right now. My husband just made me something. I haven't eaten. I don't know what. I had some dried mango and water today. Like I was
Mm,
feeding him from the moment
that's
I
like
woke up. Like I made
yes.
him bread. He made crumbs all over the couch because I had
Oh
a
girl.
rehearsal. I come out everywhere is messy. Toys are everywhere. I'm like, can't you just clean up after yourself? You're almost 6. But of course, is no. Like oh
Hmm.
Oh
I don't
my
No,
know.
god.
we make our kid clean up after himself,
Oh yeah.
and he's
So
only 2, but
oh good.
and it works. It works. We're like, we ain't going anywhere. We ain't doing nothing. You are not getting your grapes till you pick up that ball and put it in the basket. Cause do
Yeah.
you want grapes? Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I hate
Hmm.
that I have to bribe him.
Oh yeah, bribery works. They're like outwardly motivated, and they're always motivated by food.
I hate to be the
Yeah.
bearer of bad news, but it doesn't work,
Yes.
ladies, because my wife is constantly still telling me to clean up, and I'm not even
Right?
like, sorry,
I know,
sorry.
cause
We don't
I
listen. We
yes,
don't.
boys don't listen,
We
and
don't.
I'm like, I have to raise my voice. I'm like, why do I have to? I
I
asked you
know.
5 times nicely. You don't do it when I raise my voice and I take away TV and ice cream. Then you do it. Like, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to keep doing this every day? I'm so tired of it.
So I'm doing this thing with my kid right now where I'm like, I'll just count. I'll start counting. I'll go 1, and
Yep.
like he doesn't even know like what the thing is, but he like gets real nervous and like jumpy, and he'll like straighten up. Like he'll be like, okay, oh, and then he'll run to me and be like, no. So it's really really cute, but at the same time, I'm like, God, I don't want to I don't want to be the parent that does this, but it
Yeah.
I'm doing
It works.
everything if it works. Yes.
So real
And that
quick,
means,
Kiki, can you tell me
Yes.
about sweet and sour chicks?
oh,
Oh.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Talk about that.
we're actually we got into the Las Vegas Asian Film Awards, so they're gonna screen the short. It's actually like a series. The producers were trying to pitch it to Quibi, but then they closed down. So that's why I made like 10-minute episodes. But then I was like, most festivals, they don't really have the what do you call it, the series category. That most of them they have short category. So we edited another version which is like 15 minutes, and then we got into the Vegas Asian Film Awards. It's screening end of July, so I'm excited about that. And we're waiting for a few other festivals, and then we'll see what happens. But it's about a single mom slash stand-up comedian and her
Um,
and her friends. And I was just like really in love with Sex in the City, and but then you never see like an Asian. I mean, I saw Lucy Liu as Lucy Liu and Margaret Cho
Mm-hmm.
as like, a fashion designer or whatever. But
Hmm.
and then like that Thai maid, but and they never dated an Asian, I don't think, really. But I mean, I just always wanted to show. I don't really see any. I mean, even the shows now, I only see the Asian girl as the sidekick. Like I've watched so many, like Emily in Paris. Like my friends are like, "Oh yeah, there's an Asian girl. She's good," but I don't really. They don't really flesh out their life. They're like
Right.
a sidekick. They're like there to
Mm-hmm.
cheer the white girl on. Like I'm tired of that. So I just,
Well, there
I
is a
just
show
wrote my
that
own
I
thing.
do enjoy, which I
Which
love,
one?
is Aquafina's new show. Have you seen
Oh
it? It's called
yeah,
Nora from
Nora from.
Queens. It's
Yes, yeah.
great. It's a great show. So yeah, it's starting to come up though. I think she's doing really good for the Asian community.
Yes, we
Yes.
love her. But
Yes.
hey Kiki, we're at the top of our time together, but I wanted to ask you about your tour and then tell us a little bit about Crazy Woke Asians and when we can catch you in August here in San Diego, okay?
Oh yeah, August 18th. We're gonna be at the Laugh Factory, the brand new Laugh Factory in
Yes.
Gaslamp at the Keating Hotel. It's eight
Hmm.
o'clock, and ACMA is our community partner. So yeah, it's at 8 o'clock. It's on a Wednesday night, so it's gonna be fun. We have Justin Rivera from America's Got Talent. He's gonna do a little magical comedy. Ron Josso from Just for Laughs. He's like on Kevin Hart's LOL network. Cherry Cola from Freeform's Good Trouble. She's on TV. And then Irene too. She's great. She's in like Sketchfest, Comedy Central. And then who else? Sammy Ken too. He's local. He's done a few shows with us, so he's been like, when are you guys coming back? So I'm excited to have him. He's Mexican and Chinese, I think. And then also George Wang. He's like
I
blew up
love
on
George.
TikTok. Yeah, he's great. Blew up on TikTok. Yeah, he's super excited. He's like, I'm gonna get a room and just chill in San Diego for the night. Can't wait to go. And then who else do I have on the? Oh, Dante Chang. He's hilarious. He's from the Improv. Uh, who's the last? Oh, Andy Van's gonna be. He actually got started doing his first stand up at the Comedy Palace. That was the first time he did the Crazy Woke Asians show, and then
Oh,
he
nice.
won the comedy contest, so he's gonna be hosting it. It'll be great. And then we're going to Vegas end of August at the Notoriety in Fremont. You guys should come out. It's gonna be fun. The place is great. The venue is huge. We're gonna have a live taping
Oh,
of
cool.
the show there. And then September we're going to New York. We have 3 shows, two in the one on the east side, one in Brooklyn, and one Upper West Side. And then we're going to Seattle, back to where I came from, in October. 3 shows there as well. And then at the I think 2 of them at Theater of Jackson. It's near Chinatown, the International District. So, and then November we have the Solo Performance Festival where we partner with NBC, and that's when we showcase like 50, 60 comedians, and they do like one person show or stand up special. They just workshopping their stuff. So that's going to be like
Sweet.
4 days of stuff. Oh my gosh, yes. And then it'll be Christmas, and then bye bye. 2022.
Nice. Oh my gosh.
And
That
where can we
sounds
get more?
amazing.
Yeah,
That tour sounds amazing. So,
where can we follow you with all of this
Oh,
stuff?
oh
yes.
yeah, you can follow at Crazy Woke Asians, me at Kiki Kiki Funny Mama, and then you can go on the website crazywokeasians.com. Has all the info if people want to submit to the solo festival. We do like 15 minutes to 50 minutes set, depending on
Wow.
yeah. So, and we have 3 stages, so there are three theaters this year. So, and it's 4 days. So we can get most of the comedians in, unless they're not funny. Most of them, like, we try to get them so they can workshop their stand-up special. Because I feel like more of us are here now, and but not enough of us in the main rooms. Like
Yeah.
even in LA you don't see enough, unless they're on TV. But like there are a lot of us. They're getting better and working hard, and I think we all deserve a chance. So hopefully this
100%.
will help do that. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really wish this was an hour-long show because I could sit here and just listen to both of you talk and make me laugh and let me yawn. I mean, I love it. I wish we could do this more, but of course, we want you back. Can you come back and join us another time, Kiki?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining the show today. To learn more about today's show, please visit AsianVoicesRadio.com. Also, be sure to subscribe as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And until next week, I'm Hula Ramos on behalf of my co host, the amazing, beautiful, wonderful Linda Schwartz. Thank you, girl.
Yay.
You bet. Thanks,
We-
everybody.
Thanks
we
for
thank
having
you
me.
for listening. Thank you. And please join us next week for another exciting and thought provoking Asian Voices radio show. Take care until next time.